So, as you know, this month is Black History Month. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the really amazing black artists that are out there. The first one, there is this woman from a long time ago by the name of Augusta Savage. And she was a sculptor. A sculptor makes statues and three-dimensional art pieces, and she did amazing work. The other person that is really famous and has become very popular is Corey Baxdale. Corey Baxdale does what we call street art. He loves to paint on the walls, sort of like graffiti, but really great art. And I bet you didn't know this, but there is a football player who has been playing for a while. He's a linebacker on a few of the teams out there. I think he played for the Bills and the Jets. And his name is Aaron Mabin. So Aaron Mabin has been creating some beautiful, amazing artwork. So I just want to share some of these with you. So now that we've looked at some famous and well-known artists, let's look at a technique that was created in Africa, and that is called Kente Cloth. And Kente Cloth is really fabric, materials that was created for dresses and beautiful things that the people in West Africa used to wear. So Kente Cloth started in a town called Ghana by the Asante people a long time ago. And what it was, it's hand woven, which means done by hand, and they would weave, putting different pieces of cloth on a loom. That's a little more, that might be a little hard to understand, but we're going to learn how to weave in this lesson. And we're going to use construction paper to do our weaving. And we're going to create our own Kente cloth. It'll kind of end up looking something like this. It has lots of patterns and lots of designs. Okay, well, let's get started. So first of all, you're going to need scissors, and you're going to need some crayons. So I picked a few colors here. And you're going to need some different colors of construction paper. All right? So one color is going to be used as your background. I think I'm going to make yellow my background color. So we're going to make a Kente fabric pattern, and we're going to weave it. So the first thing I want you to do is you're going to fold your paper in half, like this. And then you're going to fold a little section up here at the top, just a little piece. And right here, you're going to put your name. Right here, okay? So this is where your name is going to go. And it'll be with, you can do that with a marker, or you can do it with your crayons, but you're going to put your name right there. All right, then we're going to open our paper. Now the first thing is, because this is all about patterns, we're going to make a lot of patterns going in this direction. So you'll see that I'm just going to do some zigzag lines. I'm using crayons. I think crayons work really good on construction paper. And I'm going to do another zigzag line here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color it in with an orange marker. Now I can repeat the same pattern all the way down on my paper, or I can make a new pattern. So I'm just going to stop here so I can show you what another pattern might be, and then we'll continue. So I can just make a line and another line, and maybe this one will have lines that go like this, little stripes. I'll see that I've created a few rows of different patterns. Now you can do anything you want. You can make them small or larger. You can even put more patterns. I just wanted to give you an idea. So our next step is we're going to, since we had already folded our paper, remember how we folded our paper this way? And we had this mark. Now you don't want your patterns to go all the way down. You want to leave that blank, okay? So when we have our paper folded, we're going to take our scissors. Remember, we fold our paper. I usually fold it in half because I want when I cut my paper, I want it to be really as even as possible. So cutting it in half really helps me to, okay? So I'm going to cut my paper. It's folded in half, and I'm going to cut where I'm right in the middle, but right up to where my name is, okay? You see that? Just where my name is. And then I'm going to think about where the half of a half is. I'm just going to kind of give myself an idea, and it's right here. So I'm going to cut this up to the line, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing. Where is half of this? It's right here. And so I've made 4 cuts, and they come up to the line. So don't go past the line. Now I'm going to cut each of these in half. Okay, so let me just go slow here because I don't want to mess up. I'm going to cut each half in half. Again, up to the line. Okay. Up to the line. And this way gives, at least I know that they're pretty close in size. They might be a little off, but that's okay. All right, so now we've got all our cuts made. Isn't that pretty? Now, when I open my paper, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna have all these beautiful cuts. This is where we're gonna put our weave. Now, to create the papers that go in our weave, take a different color paper, maybe 2 different colors, and we're going to create our strips. Now before I do that, I'm going to add a pattern. Again, everything is about patterns. So I'm going to take my black crayon and create a pattern here. And I think I'm going to go sort of the same idea that I did on the other one, but just with a black crayon, and I'm just going to do the same thing all over the place, all over this paper, okay? I'm just now finishing up another piece of paper that I'm adding another pattern, and it's a pattern of blue dots. So I've made 2 pieces of paper, one that has lots of blue dots and one that has little zigzag lines. Remember, it doesn't matter how perfect you get, you just want to do a nice pattern, okay? So now comes the next part of this. We're going to cut this paper into strips. Now the best way to cut paper so that it's all nice and even is you're going to fold it in half once, and then you're going to fold it in half again. Okay, so you've got a skinny strip that you folded in twice. Now I'm going to cut my paper right up the middle here. So here we go. Go as straight as you can. If you need to get someone to help you, you can do that. And I'm going to make skinny strips. So when I open this one, I'm going to cut that in half. So we begin to do our weaving. This is the fun part. This is what in the old days, they used to use a special machine that would do this, but we're going to use our hands. I'm going to start with a pink strip. And the first thing, let me see if you can see what I'm doing, is we're going to go from here. We're going to go underneath one, over one, under and over, okay? Under and over. That's what's called weaving. And you know what? My hands get shaky sometimes. I know, it's kind of weird. So I do one row. You see how I went over and under? And there's my first weave. Now I'm going to take one of my blue strips, because I like to alternate. And we're going to go over and under, but the opposite direction. So now we're going to go over and under. And over and under. And the last one is under. Okay. And we're starting to create a beautiful weaving pattern. This is what is called weaving. When we weave something in and out, over and under, over and under. Okay, so I got all my rows in there. And what I like to do is go to the back once they're all nice and straight. And I'm just going to take a little piece of tape and tape them so they don't move on me. They stay real still. You see how it forms a really pretty pattern even on the back? But I just need to tape a few of them, and that way they won't move. And once I've finished, I can go ahead and trim the ends. And there we have a beautiful Kente fabric pattern created in a weave. So have fun doing this, you guys. All right, have fun. Take your time and go slow so that it looks very nice and neat.